Americans are bracing for President-elect Donald Trump's proposed tariff hikes on imported goods. Trump has promised to raise tariffs 60% or more on Chinese goods. He also proposed a universal tariff of at least 20% on other foreign imports. An August study by the Peterson Institute for International Economics shows these tariffs could end up costing middle-income households more than $2,600 a year. One small business owner told CBS News Trump's economic plans will also have serious impacts for American businesses.
Our Evolution air fryer, about $130 right now. Trump tariffs come in, $200 plus. It would decimate our business, but not only our business, it would decimate all small businesses that rely on importing.
For more, let's bring in CBS News MoneyWatch correspondent Kelly O'Grady. So, Kelly, some economists say that Trump's proposed tariffs could actually drive up inflation and interest rates, something that obviously President-elect Trump has repeatedly accused of President Biden, his current administration. Can you explain how and why economists believe that that could be an effect?
Yeah, so basically a tariff is a tax that a company has to pay on any goods that they import. And so the business then has to decide, okay, are they going to eat the cost or are they going to pass it on to us, the consumers? Most of the time they pass it on to us. And so economists are looking at the situation, and the Trump administration already put tariffs on China when he was in office. The Biden administration extended that. And so the Tax Foundation, I was reading an analysis that they did, and they looked at the impact on washers, Lindsay. And they saw that washing machines, okay. Yes, these tariffs increased a washing machine by $86. And so what does that do? The prices rise. That's where your inflation comes from. And the interest rate piece, if you start to see prices tick up, inflation tick up, that's when the Federal Reserve starts to say, okay, maybe we have to raise the interest rates or at least keep them at the already high rate that they are.
How will these proposed tariffs affect consumers and businesses both here in the United States and on a global scale? And is it a guarantee that this is going to happen, that these tariffs will be put in place? Isn't Trump also saying he'll use it as a negotiating tactic?
That's exactly right. And that's a really important point, because I think a lot of us are saying, oh, should I run out and buy things right now? We don't know for sure if he's going to do that. And it's a negotiating tactic because of how it would impact businesses on a global scale. If you're a company that is based in China, you want Americans to buy your goods. And when a tariff is placed on a country, that means it's going to be more expensive for us. And so that's the idea, that it would hurt businesses globally. And that's where the negotiating tactic comes in. Domestically, it would, in theory, help companies that produce all of their goods in the U.S. But I do want to highlight a caveat. If you're importing any materials, that could actually increase your input costs.
So that leads me to my next question. While on the trail, Trump claimed the tariffs would lead to a, quote, manufacturing boom. And some American manufacturers believe that these plans could create more jobs. Could that happen?
Absolutely, right? Because if you can't import your products, you have to hire people to produce them here. Could be at a higher labor cost, but that's kind of the thing. There's always that push and pull with any economic policy. Nothing is perfect. You just have to figure out what the right trade-off is.
Kelly O'Grady, thank you. For more on the business and consumer aspect of Trump's tariff proposals, I am joined by Andy Gossett. He's the owner of Core Surf, an outdoor sporting goods company based in Huntington Beach, California. Andy, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Tell us about your business. What do you sell? Why do you manufacture overseas or import goods that are made overseas? And how would tariffs impact you?
Yeah, so we make all sorts of outdoor gear and accessories. You know, we specialize in making products not just for surfers, but anyone who loves to spend time outside at the beach or traveling. We specialize in our travel backpacks, travel essentials, as well as our outerwear and beach accessories.
And so tell me why those things that you sell, you are required to interact with factories and manufacturing facilities overseas.
Yeah, so when I first started the business, you know, I reached out to a lot of factories here in the United States and unfortunately just didn't get a lot of interest or response. And if a factory did get back to me, you know, they required pretty significant MOQs, so a minimum. So, you know, for a small business like mine, you know, they would want like 20,000 units on the first order. Whereas going to China, they're much more flexible because, you know, there's a lot of competition between factories in China. So they all want your business. So they're willing to be flexible and work with a startup. And so that's how, and obviously the cost, because the cost was significant. it's about 4 times more to have things made in the US. And it's such a competitive market that I just couldn't afford to have them made here.
And so tell me, you've crunched the numbers. What would tariffs mean for your bottom line?
Yeah, so I was in business when Trump's first round of tariffs took effect in around 2016, 2017, and that was pretty significant. That was about a 25% hit right across the board. So, if like say a container comes in worth $100,000, all of a sudden I have to pay an additional $25,000 to the government out of pocket to get that container outside of the port. And so if you're going to look at another 60% on top of that, that's a whopping 85% tariff that I now have to pay before I can get my container outside of the port. So that's going to be extremely difficult for a small business like mine to pay for.
So you obviously, like you said, you have tried to manufacture in the United States. Right now, that is not an option for you and your business. So what are you doing to prepare for the possibility of these added tariffs?
Yeah, so right now we're not really sure if Trump is going to do, a specific tariff, maybe targeting specific industries like electric cars or electronics, or if it's going to be like last time where it's just across the board, 60% on everything. So what I'm doing is reaching out to both manufacturers here in the US again, as well as factories in Vietnam and in Mexico. Luckily, in 2017, 2018, I started manufacturing some items in Vietnam. So I do have some contacts there,
Okay.
but they're just not as sophisticated as the factories in China yet. They're just not quite ready for that, nor do they have the infrastructure. And they also have to import the materials from China. So
Andy, let me ask you something, because I have very little time left with you, but I do want to ask you a twofer. Do you think that there are any parts of the policy that Trump is proposing that could be good for American manufacturing in the long run, but might cause businesses like yours short-term pain? The second part of that question is, what concerns do you have for the livelihood of your employees, if any?
Yeah. So in talking to the manufacturers that I've talked to in the US, they don't feel like they're ready for such a surge in orders. They are, I've talked to factories in Wisconsin, Indiana, and they don't have the labor force to quickly ramp up, nor do they have the materials. So they're also a little nervous. And then in regards to my employees, like I said, if I'm taking this big hit, paying all these additional tariffs, my employees are concerned because it is going to be a very big hit to take, and I'm going to have to make some tough decisions. So yeah, we are all a little bit nervous about what's to come down the road.
All right, Andy Gossett, thank you so much for coming on, and we hope that you'll come back and provide us with an update.
Thank you.